Hey, what's up guys, it's me again and welcome back to my channel Mayta What Ifs. Today I am back with a new story. The name of the story is What If Neglected Naruto's Death Turned Prophecy into a Curse. And yeah guys, it is an unscripted story and my own idea. Now before continuing this is a bit dark and I already said this on Apologia channel. Today I am quite tired and yeah, I already posted a video there and I'm now focusing on this because I know I've been neglecting this channel quite a lot and I don't want to do that, to be honest, from now on. So yeah, this is a story. I hope you guys enjoy this one, and if you do, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel, and follow me on my other channel as well. And be warned, this is a bit darkish. So yeah, enough said. Without any further ado, let's begin with our today's story. Our story begins in Konoha Gakure no Sato. 13 years after the Kyuubi attack had happened in Konoha. It was the 13th year anniversary of the Kyuubi's defeat. The people have gathered in the center of Konoha Gakure no Sato. The civilians, shinobis alike were all there, and a celebration was going on, because a surprise has been given to Konoha, a gift from the gods many claimed it to be, a miracle. The fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze, has returned, and alive and well, and alongside him so has his family, the real heroes of Konoha Gakure no Sato, who saved it 13 years ago from the Kyuubi. Minato, his wife, and their children, Menma and Mito Uzumaki Namikaze, who held the Kyuubi's chakra each. And then there was Naruto, the son who has sacrificed the most, the son whose body was now the vessel of the Kyuubi's soul, who was playing to be their son. Or so they all believed it that to be. As currently the celebration was going on not only because of that, but today was the day of 13 years worth of waiting, that their suffering was going to end. Konoha's council and Hokage was finally going to grant them what they have always wanted. And it was the fourth Hokage himself who was going to do it himself, finish what he had started 13 years ago. As there was a wooden ramp that was created, and in it, in the center, was a wooden post. As that is when a changed Naruto Uzumaki was dragged there, as rocks were thrown at him and he had a lot of wounds. He was shaking badly and begging, but his mouth was turned shut by a piece of cloth that was shoved into his mouth. And then he was forced into that wooden post, and a sword, a sharp one, was given to Minato. As he arrived in front of Naruto and looked towards his eyes, and then smirked and then looked towards his people. People of Konoha, not only I have returned back today, I am also giving you what you have always wanted. What I always have wanted. My wife and children have always wanted. This monster, its soul that I sealed within my son in hopes that, like the other two children, my son will survive and keep it sealed away from all of you, were crushed when I found a mistake in the sealing process and pattern, and found out that the Kyuubi has taken over the body. It played a good act of being a normal human as much as it could. But I knew, and I know all of you knew and were aware that this was not my son, because people of Konoha, the people known for having the most best passion out of all and everyone out there in the elemental nation, and kindness, would have seen him as a child and not as a monster, as everyone began to cheer. And today is the ending, marks the ending of the suffering that all of you have gone through, the mockery that all of you have endured, because Kyuubi no Yoko will die today. I know this is going to hurt me more than anyone else and my family, because it will be like executing my own son, but I know that it is freeing my son's soul and body from this monster. As people cheered and vowed that they will honor Naruto. And so, Minato executed Naruto, who glanced at him once with fearful wide eyes. If eyes could speak, Minato knew Naruto was begging him not to do this, but in the end, Minato, believing what he had said, did it, leaving the neck off of 13-year-old Naruto Uzumaki. People celebrated and cheered. The only one who didn't was Hiruzen Sarutobi and the Ichiraku Ramen stand people, and they had huge frown on their faces. As after the celebration had ended, a party was started. It was already nighttime, and in the home of Minato Namikaze, Hiruzen was forcefully invited by Jiraiya and the others. He was seated in one corner. He felt disgusted to be even here, and was biting the inner side of his face to maintain his anger or tears, because he knew that if he showed any of them, people would just laugh at him, call him a fool. Because he knew the truth that all of them have avoided and ignored. Hiruzen, seeing this, then arrived in front of him. Why are you not raising a glass today, Hiruzen-sama? Our pain has ended. Pain? Whose pain, Minato? You know, I've been trying so hard to make sense since you have returned and started this charade, but I can't, for the love of God, wrap my head around what you have said. Naruto was never Naruto. The Kyuubi had you fooled. That is what I say, it's a cunning beast. I have known that I made a mistake in the seal, and that is why. And that is why you left him here? Seriously, Minato. It needed to live for the time being, to be the scapegoat. Wow. Seriously, you were never like this, Minato. The prophecy is more important than anything. Sensei, said Jiraiya. Oh, I see it. So it's because of the prophecy. You did this because of a prophecy. The words of a drunken old toad who never even knows what is going on anymore in this world. I'm not surprised. Watch your tone, Sensei. That is, the elder of my clan. Your clan. Who gave you that scroll to that clan, Jiraiya? It was you, but now I am a senior member of that clan, and I will not take this disrespect, Sensei. I would like you to apologize. Apologize? Yeah, maybe I should. I'm sorry, Jiraiya. I'm also sorry that I was a fool to think that you would be a Sardine and a perfect student of mine. Even Orochimaru had more sense than you. What do you mean by that, Sensei? What does that mean? That snake bastard is better than me? You always thought that he was. But look at him now. He's a criminal. A criminal with some code. What code do you have, Jiraiya? In fact, you two are kind of alike, as you have said. If he is a criminal, then what are you then? You murdered a child out there. That was not a child. That was Kyuubi impersonating a child. It has fooled you and many of those who believed that that was a child, not the demon itself. Minato knows that it was a mistake that happened because of him. Mistake. I've been near him 13 years. If there was a slip-up, I would have seen. You're forgetting that I'm an old man that survived in a profession where men die young, Jiraiya. If anyone is a fool, it's us. Especially me for believing in you and your charade. Enjoy your celebration and your prophecy. With that, Hiruzen turned and left, arriving at the only spot where he knew he should be. And what he saw was heartbreaking. Tenoichi and Ayame, they were crying as Ayame was literally shivering from tears in the arm of her father. There was a warm hot bowl of ramen placed there. As looking at the scene, Hiruzen broke, looking down. He was so young, so full of life. He wasn't the Kyuubi. He was Naruto. Why did the fourth did this to his own son? People are cruel, Ayame. Too cruel. Especially the shinobi kind. That much I have learned. Rest easy, kid. This one is on the house. Said with a broken voice, Tenoichi, as he and his daughter turned. Ayame, with tears in her eyes, didn't glance towards Hiruzen, but Tenoichi stopped. You know, you could have done something today, Hiruzen-sama. As Hiruzen looked towards him with his own red set of eyes which had tears in them. I'm aware. The boy deserved much more, not this. Shinobi world is going down in hell, and with it all of us. Because we are worse than demons, not him. And with that, Tenemichi left, his words ringing in the ears of Hiruzen, who arrived near where Naruto's grave was created freshly, and where the bowl of ramen was placed. I'm sorry, Naruto. I should have done something, but this stopped me. I know I'm making excuses. I'm sorry that I was weak. I'm sorry I couldn't have been there to protect you. If the prophecy is real, I hope it's not, but if it is, and only if, I want the child of prophecy to be you, and I want all of them to suffer. As Hiruzen with tearful eyes looked towards the skies, his clouds were gathering. It was soon going to rain, but he didn't care. How can you allow this injustice to happen? And here in the heart of Konoha, the village that preaches that they have will of fire, the most kindness. Are you gonna just watch this? As thunder boomed, but Hiruzen knew, even if he spoke to the heaven, no answer will come. So, he began to leave. As he left, it rained, but it rained red. As the shamans outside the temple in the land of fire and other people who were akin to the sage, they all frowned and suddenly sighed a sad sigh. So it has begun. What has begun, my lord? Said one of the younger shamans to the older one. Cycle is going to end. The time has begun. The world didn't care for its savior and has butchered it down. The last line of ray of hope that was a gift to us, it has been torn to shreds by our own hands. By whom? I'm afraid if I reveal this, there will be a war that could end us before what is inevitable. As back at Minato's home, during the celebration, the chief toad appeared outside the house. Jiraiya! Minato, get your asses outside this instant. And so they both did. Kamabunta-san, what is going on? It's an emergency. You're both called back to the clan compound. Now! And so, seeing the seriousness in the tone of Kamabunta, they returned, only to find that Gamamaru had a heart attack and had died. What? Said Jiraiya after finding out about this through Fukusaka and Shima, the elders. We don't know, Jiraiya boy. He screamed that we are screwed. The prophecy is a curse now. Before dying, clutching his own heart. What do you mean by that? The prophecy was just fine a few days ago. And so was Kamamaru-sama. And he even said that there is a threat that we need to eliminate, and we did. The QB soul is no longer the issue. What about the Jinchuriki? Is he alive? Said Fukusaka, as Jiraiya and Minato looked towards one another. No. It's obvious that Jinchuriki is dead as well. Maybe that is the reason. Because, so far, the Jinchuriki was happy and ignorant. But what does this even have to do with Naruto? He's dead. And so is the QB soul with it, said Jiraiya. We made sure that everyone bought what we had spread back then and even now. Yes, for this prophecy and world's sake, I have sacrificed my own son. How can it be that, even after all that, the prophecy is going to turn into a curse? Because that child might have been the child of prophecy. Impossible. Anyone but Naruto. It could not have been. Naruto had weak chakra coils and little to no chakra, and besides he was the Jinchuriki of the QB soul, said Minato angrily. Don't be angry at me, Minato boy. Whatever might have been the reason, it is over. There's nothing we can do now. The world is going to end. by one mean or another. And so it began. Due to the shamans of all the elemental nation different temples who have felt this, the ones who were really true ones, they have talked to their own daimyos and alerted them, and so have alerted the Kages. Knowing that there was a threat outside and it could be any one of them, they all turned on one another, starting the biggest massacre out of all in the human history of the elemental nation. One after the other, they all began to fall, die. Minato's both children, the so-called children of prophecy, were the first ones to be killed after they were proclaimed to be the saviors of Konoha. And the others laughed at them. Kushina cried tears of blood that day. And once she found out what Minato had hid, the truth, she killed herself because she believed her husband's words. She believed him and followed him to the massacre of her own son. Minato couldn't bear with this. His own son and daughter has died, and so has his wife, who he loved so much. All because he killed his son for the sake of prophecy. When all hope seemed lost, Minato, who was in a tent now because Konoha and the other were at war and many of their homes were destroyed, looked towards Jiraiya and glared. "It's all because of you, Jiraiya." "What? What do you mean by that, Minato?" "It's all because of you, you bastard! If it wasn't because of you and your damn prophecy, this would have not happened. I would have not killed Naruto. This would have not led to this. My whole family, I killed it with my own hands because of you. You're the one who deserves to die." "Calm down, Minato," said Jiraiya, but Minato began to choke him. In the end, Jiraiya, trying to save himself, stabbed Minato into the side of the ribs, causing one of his lungs to be punctured and filled with blood. While Minato gurgled and died in front of him, trying to ask Jiraiya for help, Jiraiya stood there as everything began to fall apart. Within months, the whole landscape had changed. They have all begun to bite and fight each other. He wanted this world to be a haven, and if any threat would ever appear, he would kill it, get rid of it, and that is what he presumed Naruto was. He did not know that the boy was child of prophecy. Killing him turned the prophecy that he sought out all his life, turned it from a blessing to a biggest curse. And now, here he was, standing in front of his student, someone who he could call a son, whose whole family he had led to a massacre. As suddenly, Hiruzen entered from behind. "See, Jiraiya? Sensei, I told you you're no better than Orochimaru. You're even worse." "Seriously, you led to the death of the shinobi world and your own student and his family. I didn't want this to. You didn't, but you led it to. You were the catalyst of all this, Jiraiya. All this blood is on you. You are the biggest mistake that has ever happened in my life." With these words, Jiraiya watched Hiruzen turn and leave, because he knew there would be another attack of wave of shinobis towards them, and he needs to be out there to protect them. But before he went, Jiraiya followed him and arrived to find Hiruzen standing at the grave where there was an empty bowl of ramen left. As Hiruzen placed another one, taking that. "What are you doing? What are you doing here?" Is something that I should ask you, Jiraiya. You should not be asking me. "I'm asking you, why are you here at his grave?" "Don't you dare speak his name. You're the one who killed him, for your own benefit. Look at around you, Jiraiya. This is your creation. It started with the blood of his. It started with the massacre of Naruto Uzumaki. I'm here to give him his comfort meal. The only thing that he was truly happy and joyous about when he was eating. I don't want him to be scared. He's dead." "Don't you dare say he's dead, Jiraiya. He was killed. The poor boy. He never really did die. He became an immortal. He became an immortal figure that will haunt you for the rest of your life. Because you are the one who is the cause of his death and the death of the whole elemental nations. The death of your own clan, elder, and your own student's life and family. As Jiraiya, after hearing this, ran away, the words of Hiruzen echoing through his skull as he ran. He didn't look back, and people, later after everything calmed down, the people called him a coward who ran away from the battlefield. People remembered this war as the huge massacre, because that is all it ever was. As for the catalyst, Hiruzen Sarutobi named it to be Jiraiya, the legendary so-called Sanin of Konoha, and his student Minato Namikaze. These two individuals were written down in the history to be the cause and catalyst of this massacre. A chaos-like curse that emerged on them, and they died by their own hands, tearing each other apart like the animals they were. And the one they had butchered down like a demon, he was at peace. At least that is what Hiruzen told himself in the night. He was nothing more than an old man who was turned blind because of the tears he has shed. Once the Kami no Shinobi, the professor, was now nothing more than a beggar on the street that you would find. Both eyes gone. Whenever someone bullied him or steal his money, he would just smile and walk away, because he knew he was weak back then and he is weak now, because he didn't defend Naruto, so he had no right to defend himself. Well, Jiraiya, God knows what happened to him. Some said that he crossed the great river and went to the west. Some said that he died hiding in a cave or some god-forbidden stone underneath it. But if he ever emerged, he would be killed on the spot, dragged throughout the whole elemental nation. As for Minato, his grave and statues were made, and he was hit and thrown rocks at each and every time, because he was a monster who followed his own sensei, killing his own son, starting this massacre and all. As this was the new reality, the world might have started healing, but it will never forget the scar that it has been given to it by Jiraiya, Konoha, and by Minato. As this is where I will be leaving the story of, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel, and follow me on my other channel as well. As this is it for the day. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.